Welcome to Passport Mommy. I'm your host, Michelle Jerson. This show is for anyone raising little humans. We feature experts with tips and advice to enrich the lives of our children. Mom and dad entrepreneurs tell us their inspiring stories. Learn about products that could make both you and your child's life easier and more fun. And of course, fellow parents discuss and laugh about what's happening in their child's world. Motherhood is a journey. Thanks for joining me on mine. Welcome to Passport Mommy. I'm Michelle Jerson. So I don't know about how it is where you live, but I can tell you that we are looking for a home and the prices have skyrocketed. The inventory is low and people are waiving their appraisals. They're waiving their inspections. It is so competitive to find and buy a new home. So I'm really happy to have with me today AJ Barkley. She is the Neighborhood Lending Executive for Bank of America. She is responsible for identifying opportunities to drive successful home ownership among low to moderate income borrowers, underserved communities, and multicultural borrowers across the economic spectrum. Thank you so much for being here, AJ.
It's good to be here with you again.
Thank you so much. So what are you finding from your experience when it comes to purchasing a home in 2021?
Well, I think you stated it in the beginning, extremely competitive. And what I'm encouraging and what we're encouraging is people need to be prepared with the pre-qualification or pre-approval. In some markets, it's extremely competitive. And the more you know, the more you're ready, it positions you against some of the other buyers that are vying for the same property.
Right, exactly. So what would you tell a first-time home buyer? What are their biggest challenges?
Well, the biggest challenges for first-time home buyers really hasn't changed, but their ability to react to those challenges have improved. And so that's really having reserves for the purchase process of the home. That is to affect the closing costs and the down payment. Many of our first-time home buyers are qualified. The mortgage is less than the rent. And so it's really them working on opportunities and leveraging resources like we have at Bank of America towards closing costs, down payment, low down payment mortgages. And what you and I just said a second ago is like get pre-qualified or pre-approved. So you walk in already in a better position.
Right. So one of the challenges that we're facing, which we didn't realize we would be, is that for the pre-approval, both my husband and I are self-employed. And I know sometimes it's not like you can just hand over your W-2 and say, this is what I currently make. They look back at the last 2 years of salary. And 2 years ago, I was having a baby and moving. And so I didn't make a lot of money. What advice would you give to somebody who is ready to purchase that home? They pay quite a bit of money in rent per month so they can afford it, but they may have trouble qualifying for that mortgage.
Well, I think you don't know what you don't know. And congratulations, by the way. You don't know what you don't know. And so I think that I always recommend people to get to a lending specialist as soon as possible. So they understand your full situation. They understand your current financial situation. They understand, in your case, self-employed, what it looked like for the last 2 years, so we can get you prepped and prepared to pursue and begin the home ownership process. It's different for every person. And that's why, there's all these urban myths around home ownership. But if you speak to someone that understands how to manage through that, and then there's tools and resources online. With the current, situation, a lot of stuff is happening virtually. So people don't need to let that deter them from moving forward and understanding what they need to do to be prepared for home ownership. But I would suggest that they do that. And if they want to, and they just want to do it on their own, we have a resource at Bank of America that has all of the tools and everything you want to know around home ownership really packaged in one place. So it gives you some time to do some homework before even meeting with a lending specialist.
Terrific. And where can people go to find all of that on Bank of America's website?
Yes, it's www.bankofamerica.com/homeowner. And what you'll also find there as well, Michelle, is our program. I think I mentioned our community homeownership commitment when we talked before, and it has been going gangbusters. And we just announced an expansion from $5 billion to $15 billion to help people get in homes through low down payment, closing costs, and down payment grants. And so please, I encourage people, don't be deterred because of the, all of the volume and everything that's going on, what you're hearing now. And if not now, we can still help you when you're ready.
That's great. So for people to get assistance with their down payment or their closing costs, I know that you have all of that information on your website, but how can people go about just starting that and knowing if they qualify?
That's a great way. Well, first is we enhanced one of our tools that you'll find in the link I just shared, and it's our Bank of America Real Estate Center, and it allows you to search properties wherever you may be looking. As people start to sit in their homes and think about where do I want to live, where are the schools and all that, and shopping, et cetera. And in that tool, it does have a filter or sort function that you can actually see which properties are eligible for the grants, for the closing cost grant and the down payment grant. That helps to demystify some of the process for first-time home buyers. And then you can also do your pre-qualification online, so you can get an idea of what you can afford. So you can do all of these things from the convenience of your own home. Again, in today's environment, and everyone's trying to be very thoughtful about their time, energy, and being out and about in certain places.
Right. Oh, that's excellent. And so what happens if you are married, you have a partner, and maybe you're not a first-time home buyer, but your partner would be? Would you qualify for a program like that, or it depends on whose name the house would be in?
It just has to be I think it's a little bit, it's your primary home. So you don't have to be in order to qualify for our program, the community home ownership commitment, you just have to be your primary property. It doesn't have to be your first home. So we talk about first-time home buyers because a lot of times this is where the challenge is in terms of reserves and everything. Mm-hmm. But our program that I mentioned is for your primary residence. And then even our first-time home buyer program doesn't have limitations to say this has to be your first home. Oh, we just know that people in their first time struggle, right, with reserves. So it's probably semantics, but if your first home and their second home, as long as it's your primary residence, it would qualify.
Oh, that's terrific. And how are you finding interest rates are right now? And do they tend to be a little higher if you qualify for a program like this, or are you still getting the same interest rates?
No, the interest rates are just as competitive. The interest rate isn't necessarily higher. What I always mention to people is your situation may be different when people go to look at homes. You may say, I want a 15-year mortgage or a 30-year mortgage, or I may want to pay more. It just depends on what the dynamics are. The rates are not necessarily the primary driver. It's an important driver. And then as I mentioned, with our closing cost assistance, you can literally buy your rate down. So if you are rate sensitive, right, and you want a lower rate, you can do that. But I think people should just figure out what it is that they want to do short-term and long-term. And that's why speaking to a lending specialist is extremely important, because they can answer all these questions. We're not expecting, people to know all these answers, right? I think that's why you go to specialists, people that you trust, to give you some insights.
Exactly. And what are you finding? Do you find that people are staying in their homes nowadays for, 30 years, or like it used to be where you try to stay in one place for a really long period of time? Or do you find that more people are buying and selling their homes in a shorter period of time?
Well, the industry, it's a little different. It just depends. It depends on, are you millennial or Gen Z or Gen Xers? Is this your first home, your second home? I would say right now, your first question, a lot of people are doing refinancing because they're doing things to their properties. They're at home, mm-hmm. and they're like, you know what, I really do want to fix that kitchen. Well, I really want to do this because, they're home and potentially home with their kids, right? Because of the current environment we're in. And so people are doing a lot to their current property, but people are also looking for other properties. And in terms of how long they stay in their homes, a lot of times people are thinking about building the legacy for their families. And, they have one home, they may be close to paying that one off, and they may purchase a second property, but it is all very specific to the individual. And the good news is if you talk to someone and say what it is you're trying to solve to, you'll get some really good advice from whoever you view as your trusted advisor with your financial institution.
Right. And you had mentioned before that sometimes a mortgage can be cheaper than rent. What are some other benefits that people should know about home ownership?
Well, it helps you to build wealth. I don't think people necessarily think through that, right? Mm-hmm. If you purchase a home and you own a home, there's equity that gets built in the home. It allows you to then have cash available to you if you need it for emergencies. I think about a lot of times people use their equity to help their kids go to college, or they use it for, potential emergencies of some sort because the dollars are available. People refinance and change the terms of their loans so they can, pay less over a period of time. They take cash out of their house. Mm-hmm. They can do a home equity line. There's a lot that you could do with the home. And I think the other piece, not just the financial part of the home ownership, we also, through a home buyer insights reports we've done over the last couple of years, there's this physical, mental, woosah moment of being a homeowner, that you can actually be home and be in your backyard and spend time with your family. And there's other benefits as well, but wealth is a big one.
Yes, absolutely. And I think we realized that during this pandemic about how important it is to have a home that you're comfortable in and that you can do what you want to and feel at home for you and your family. AJ Barkley, thank you so much again for joining me today. Tell me the website one more time where people can go.
Great. Thank you, Michelle. It is www.bankofamerica.com/homeowner.
Terrific. Thank you so much. Such great advice. And I think you've really inspired a lot of people to get out there and not be intimidated by buying that home they've been looking at. So it is that time of the year again. I am so happy and I cannot believe it is spring. I'm thrilled. I've already cleaned out the garage. We cleaned it out because we had an outdoor birthday party for my daughter the other day and it felt so good. And so I'm thrilled to have with me today Martin Amato because he is a lifestyle and design expert, and he's going to give us some great tips on how we can get through that spring cleaning and really feel good as we go into the next season. Hi, Martin.
Hi, Michelle. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. What are some simple ways we can spruce up our homes this spring?
Well, I love the fact that you actually took the time to clean out your garage. So you know that powerful feeling of having, a place for everything and everything in its place, because it really makes you feel differently and how you feel in your home. So definitely spring is now the time of the year to really renew, refresh, and consider doing some upgrades. So I'm excited to share some tips with you. So like you said, organization is a key component. Organize your garage, take the time to look through all your closets for maybe clothes that you no longer need, all your kitchen cupboards, all the things that really sort of add up and create clutter that you don't even realize is there. Go through it. Maybe create like 3 different piles, a pile of things that you want to keep, a pile of things that you want to donate, and maybe, other people can benefit from that, whether it's a nonprofit organization or a charity, and then also things that you want to toss, because that's taking up valuable real estate, but also mental clutter in your mind. And when you're surrounded by a beautiful, clean space, it just changes your entire sort of outlook and how you feel and how you interact in your space. As a design expert, I really firmly believe in that. So that's one of the things that you want to really focus on first as part of the spring cleaning process.
Yes, I couldn't agree with you more. So why is now also a good time to think about home safety and security?
Well, to me, the spring season almost acts like a reminder on your calendar to do a safety assessment of your home. And what I mean by that, Michelle, is you want to go ahead and look at all your smoke detectors, make sure that you swap out the batteries so that they're functioning properly. And then at that point, also consider upgrading your home security system. So for example, I love Simply Safe because it really is a strong investment any time of the year to keep you and your loved ones protected. But in addition to that, it has an added layer of protection, not only from intruders now, but also from fires and any potential water damage that can happen from things like maybe the snow melting or clogged gutters, downspouts, and more. Now, the system, by the way, is completely wireless and very DIY friendly, which I love. So it does make for a quick and easy setup. So you can add that to your to-do list this cleanup season. And then, by the way, also, if you're considering possibly upgrading your home anytime in the near future, a system like this is also a key home improvement investment. Why? Because think about it, you're adding smart home technology, which is really an attractive feature when it comes to a potential resale as well in the future.
Yeah. And I've looked into Simply Safe, and I really love that if you decide to even take some of the pieces with you, they're very easy to install and very easy to take with you to your next home.
And you make a great point because, yes, nothing is hardwired. Everything is wireless. So definitely, if you want to go ahead and take that investment with you to protect your second home or your new home at that point, you certainly have the option to do so.
Right. Exactly. I like options. Okay. So what can we do to renew our outdoor space for the season? Because I know whenever I'm riding my bike around my complex, I'm always very envious of the people who have beautiful flowers and plants out on their stoops. And I'm like, I need to do that next year. I need to do something else.
Yeah. Well, before we even get to like the decorating part, which is the part that I love, we obviously have to go through the cleaning process. Again, spring is synonymous with cleaning. So I always say that if you use a regular water hose and you upgrade to using a pressure washer, like your life will never be the same again. You're going to think to yourself, my gosh, how did I ever live without a pressure washer? Because it makes the cleaning process so much quicker and more efficient. So I love using the Craftsman 1700 Max PSI electric compact cold water pressure washer for that reason. It does provide powerful cleaning with 1.2 gallons per minute. But in addition to that, it has a soap applicator bottle and you have onboard storage to hold the hose and the cord. So really from an organization perspective, like we talked about originally, everything can be sort of put together and kept in the same space. So that way nothing is lost and all the pieces and the attachments aren't lost. It's very compact in size. I know we're obviously on the radio, so your listeners can see it. But if you go to betterstuffforlife.com, you'll see a picture there. So I say this because it's the perfect compact size for anybody that has an RV or a boat because it's lightweight and portable. Now, if you do want to have more cleaning pressure, then you want to upgrade to the Craftsman 2100 Max PSI electric cold water pressure washer. Once again, it has 1.2 gallons of water per minute, but it also has a 35-foot power cord, which obviously gives you a good range and a good reach from once you plug it into the outlet to complete all of those projects around the entire perimeter of your home. And then finally, the soap tank, by the way, and it offers onboard storage too for all the different nozzles, depending on what application or what surface you're trying to clean, in addition to a 25-foot kink-resistant hose to help eliminate the hassle. So a quick question, have you ever used a pressure washer before?
I have not, no. And I know we need one for the house, but no, I have not.
Yeah, I can guarantee you, Michelle, that once you have a pressure washer and you try it out, it's like a good addiction because you're going to say to yourself, again, a regular water hose, even if you buy a nozzle for the end of it, it's not going to give you the same amount of pressure as an electric pressure washer. And you're going to see that surfaces like a wood deck, your concrete pavers, your siding, your windows, it's going to look practically almost like brand new. Wow. And it's going to save you a lot of time so that indeed you can go to the decorating and to enjoying those outdoor spaces.
Right. I love it. Well, that is going to be on my list for the spring. So we have about 30 seconds left. What are some quick things that we can do just to make the outside of our home after we've cleaned it all up to look really nice?
Well, you know what? Decorate as if you would any indoor space. So buy patio furniture that's weather resistant, that looks beautiful. It's so many different finishes that you can have, whether it's metal or maybe like a woven wicker, a PVC material, depending on what style you like. An outdoor area rug, add pops of color with outdoor throw pillows, a beautiful umbrella. And don't forget about, plants. It's really key. So even if you live in an apartment or a high rise, depending on what space you have in your balcony, you can certainly add, container gardening and beautiful potted plants to really add that touch of greenery so that you can enjoy those outdoor spaces to the fullest and make beautiful memories with your family safe at home this spring.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Martin Amato, lifestyle and design expert. And again, you can head to betterstuffforlife.com to see everything that he just talked about. You're listening to Passport Mommy. I'm Michelle Jerson, and I'm so happy to be here today with my good friend, comic dad, Marshall Stevenson. It's been a little while, Marshall. How are you?
I am well. How are you?
I'm doing well, as well as you could be during these times, but things are good. Things are good. I thought it was really funny the other day. You sent me that article about positive parenting. And we've talked about that on the show before. I've had somebody on who tries to teach other parents how to parent in a positive way, because the belief is that it really helps the way a child develops. So I'm just curious. I mean, you have the article in front of you right now. What was your initial take? I mean, maybe we should just fill people in a little bit on what the article was saying with positive parenting.
Well, they have a whole list of things that sort of try to not have you punish or reward. Basically, it just theorizes that your behavior stems from how connected the child is to its caregivers. So they don't give commands like brush your teeth now. It's you want to brush your teeth before or after you put on your pajamas, or instead of clean up your room now, it's let's make a game of packing up the toys. You always describe the behavior, not the child. So instead of saying that the child is behaved poorly or is good, you'll explain the actions. Like, I do not like having crumbs on my couch. Mm-hmm. Instead of get the freaking crumbs off the couch.
Right.
So now my first take is what you asked, is that we try to do all this. Like, we're right on. Our instincts are correct. Now our execution is quite a failure, though.
Right. I'm with you.
Because it's kind of like, it's I hate people who write this stuff because it's like, let's take a playful approach to cleaning up. And the kid's like, no! Right. And then playful is over. I used to say, like, let's do the ice cream trick. You know the ice cream trick, Michelle?
No, what's the ice cream?
They're having a tantrum, use the ice cream trick. You give them ice cream, the tantrum stops. All right, so they say, choice is not commands. Brush your teeth before or after you put on your pajamas. We're actually having this problem right now. Brush your teeth, sweetie. No. Oh, but I just need to finish this. Oh, but one more thing. But let me just show you this. And then the teeth don't get brushed. It's like you try to brush teeth in the morning and like it's 2 p.m. and it's like, you're going to get a hole in your teeth.
Right, right. But you know what? I do, because one thing that I always have done with them and with my daughter, which my mom critiqued, was that I will say, do you want to do this or do you want to do that? And my mom's like, why are you asking her? You're the parent, you just do it. And I thought, well, no, but it's giving her some autonomy to make her feel like she's making the choice. So I can see what they're saying, because then maybe she'll then, like, your daughter will go ahead and brush her teeth. If you say, okay, these are your two options, you get to choose. Which would you like?
Yeah. Again, I feel like this makes so much sense. All of it. If you can pull it off, and we do to some degree, because we try. Mm-hmm. It's that you do. I don't know. Like, there cannot be a parent out there who pulls this off entirely and does not just say, you are going to get it if you do that again.
Right. Right.
Like, I don't mean hitting, but I mean, there's some negative consequence. There has to be. I mean, she would not brush her teeth. And I was just like, okay, then we're not going to school. Mm-hmm. Like, and she wants to go to school. So,
right.
If you don't brush your teeth, we're not going to school. I mean, how else do you handle that if the mouth is closed?
I know. I get very frustrated too. And I start saying, unless you do this, we're not doing that. And I know that you're not technically supposed to do that when it comes to positive parenting, but you're right. Sometimes the execution is really hard. So, I don't know. I don't know what to say, because we're not that much better.
Here's what you do. You say, would you like to brush your teeth before the spanking or after the spanking?
No, and no.
Just kidding.
But no, I find myself saying, if you don't do this, you're not going to get this. And then I'm like, is that really true? Probably not. So I probably shouldn't say it, right? Because I don't want to say certain things that, that are not true either, that I keep making these threats.
It's got to come down to this. You got to, and I said this in other conversations, you got to leave wide parameters, but you got to have no as a valve. And it's not everything can be done this way. I think it's good to read these, just to sort of aspire to this, but like, it's never, I do not believe that you pull this up. My kid the other day wasn't a complete tantrum. I think I headed it off. Refused to go to the ice cream shop I wanted to go to because she wanted to go to a different ice cream shop. And I'm like, young lady, do you understand how powerless you are in these negotiations?
Aww.
Do you understand?
See, that's where
we
you
don't
and I
have
differ.
to go get ice cream. That this is not. If you want to get ice cream, we're going to this place. Now, there were a lot of reasons we had to go to the other place. And, we were going somewhere after that made more sense. And it was too far. There were plenty of reasons. And I felt like I was getting her ice cream.
Right.
She needed to shut up.
I hear you. But it's,
so I was like, she's like, but then she had a good reason. She's like, but the other ice cream place, she's 4, by the way. The other ice cream place has the ice cream with the M&M toppings.
Oh, there you go with those M&M toppings. Yep.
So I said, well, I understand how you feel, but there are 2 choices. Ice cream with a topping that's available at this place.
Right.
Or no ice cream. None.
Right.
And then I said, and then she was like, no, we're not going to your ice cream place. No.
Wow.
And I said, fine. And I said, fine, I'll carry you there.
So what happened when you got to your ice cream place?
She ordered it with sprinkles.
Okay. And was she
No,
happy?
but I felt like I gave so much, but I didn't actually, I gave so much, which you can do as long as you don't as long as you have that. So I had that, no, we're going to daddy's ice cream place and not yours. And I stuck by that, but I did concede, like I carried, what am I doing carrying a 4-year-old?
Right.
But I just couldn't lose that battle.
I don't know. I feel like you're the one having the tantrum, not her. I feel like you're the one.
I know everybody was looking. I was banging my fists on the Bowery. I was like, in the city, I was like,
you're the one with the tantrum. I don't know. I think if my kid says they want to go to a certain ice cream place, I'm like, I'm pretty okay with that.
No, but it wasn't fitting into our itinerary for the day. We had to go to this other one. And the other thing is, I don't get this way a lot, but I needed to win this argument. This was an important one. I think I think it was because the toothbrushing happened in the morning, and it was like, and I had lost it. Like she went to school without brushing her teeth.
Okay.
I mean, it was just like hold her nose, put your knee on her chest. Like those were the options.
No,
wasn't doing any of that.
Right.
So we went to school or not go to school.
Right.
We went to school without brushing her teeth. And then when it came to ice cream, I wasn't losing. I had to reestablish
who's boss.
Because you do. I mean, you can't, this soft parenting thing. I mean, you're still the one in control.
Right.
You still are the one who has to not allow crumbs on the couch. You still have to be able to say, do you want to brush your teeth now or after the pajamas? They don't have a choice of not brushing their teeth or getting crumbs on the couch. And that has to be clear.
Right. I think the biggest thing with this article is they were talking about it's the rapport that you build with your child, that you have to really connect with them and let them know that like you're there for them and that there's that connection. So they feel like they want to respond more and that it's not just a battle of wills of you do this, no, you do this, no, that it's like they want to work with you. So they were saying like when it comes to cleaning up toys or cleaning up stuff, you make it into a game and just different ways that they. And I've noticed this when my daughter was even younger and we started probably when she was 2, I did notice that when I tried to say, oh, you do this now, there was no, it was just turn off. But if I engaged her and I talked to her in a different way, and one thing that I did learn is like this morning, she got upset about something and she threw over one of her toys. And I said, I understand you're feeling this way, or I can understand why you're upset. And I know why you're upset. And then I say something else. So they say that you're supposed to connect, let them know that you understand their feelings and then talk to them.
Validate their feelings.
Yes, we all want validation. even for our spouses, we all want validation.
Well, that is not going to happen. So just give that one up. Get it with mine. No, we don't get that, right? Validation from our spouses. Maybe at the beginning before you have these monster children.
Right.
I think that it's great. I think to some degree we do have this. I think we have a kid who doesn't, at least with, who doesn't tantrum that much.
Mm-hmm.
And she does do certain things, but we just have to sort of understand where they're coming from. And I don't know, do you have timeouts and punishments and stuff like that? We've avoided most of that.
We tried that. I tried that once, and then I did not want to do that anymore. I did not feel that was effective, and then my husband still didn't, and I didn't like it. I don't think it's effective. I don't think a timeout is effective. I think talking to them as to why that's not the right way to do something. And let's talk about it. And if it was something that she did to her brother, okay, please apologize. Do you understand? Why are we apologizing? And talk about it. So maybe I do take her aside for a minute, but it's not like, okay, stand over there and don't talk to anybody. We talk about what happened.
You speak to them with respect. They get a sense of that. You talk to them like they're, a lot of things like when she's refusing to brush her teeth and stuff, I say to her, basically, you don't want to be told what to do. And I just want you to know that the more good decisions you make, the more decisions you will be allowed to make.
Mm-hmm. That's really
so if you brush your teeth, if you don't brush your teeth, then we're going to treat you like a baby.
Right.
If you start making all these good decisions, then all of a sudden you're going to have more power over things. You know, if you went to bed on your own, we wouldn't tell you when to go to bed.
Right. Right. Exactly. That's good.
It's just so hard. This is because I would think that you would be able to pull this off if you had 8 kids. By the 8th kid, you would understand parenting. But I mean, somehow you'd have to like move aside all the rest of them because 8 kids in the house comes with its own challenges. You'd have to like start over with the one kid after having the experience with all 8, and then you'd get it right. But, you know, barring that experience, it's just like they already have, you know, defiance syndrome to some degree, all of them,
right.
when they're 2, 3, 4. And I don't know. I say you got to clean the crumbs off the couch before we watch another video. And you can't eat on the couch anymore because you got crumbs.
Right. Maybe you say, let's clean them off together. Let's make a game of it. Let's see who can clean them off first. Let's see who can clean the couch.
Okay, let's play this. I'll be my kid. No, you clean it off.
I get it.
Now what? All soft, hands off parenting.
Right. I know. It's not easy. But, you know, we have about 30 seconds left. But just to go back to the 8 kids, I think, you know, I've seen families with 8 kids. And I think at some point the kids just start taking care of the younger kids. And so the parents are like, I'm out. And then they teach the older kids to take care of the younger ones.
It's easier to take 8 kids on the subway than 2 kids on the subway.
Right.
What you're saying.
No, but yes. Marshall, it was so good chatting with you again. You'll have to come back on really soon because I know we had so many other things we wanted to talk about too. It's always so much fun talking. And you know what? Now that things are coming back to life a little bit, if you're listening to the show and you're local to the New York area or you're thinking about visiting sometime in the near future, Marshall, you have gift certificates for the New York Beer and Brewery Tour that you run, correct?
Yes, the New York Beer and Brewery Tour we're relaunching in June.
Great.
And so you can buy a gift certificate or you can book for the summer right now. And we're so excited about getting rolling again.
Yes, that's going to be amazing. I'll come. I need a date night. We'll do it. Marshall Stevenson, thank you so much for being here. I'm Michelle Jerson, the Passport Mommy. So spring is here. And let me tell you, I couldn't be more excited about planning a road trip because I was one of those families. We did not go anywhere in the last year, which is so against the grain for me. And so I'm thrilled to have with me today, Amy Goodman. She is a lifestyle and travel correspondent, and she's going to talk to us about tips for planning a great getaway while still keeping it safe during these times. Hi, Amy.
Hello there. My goodness, when you were saying that not traveling goes against the grain for you, I'm right there with you. My family and I usually love to travel. So this spring feels like a true fresh start, doesn't it?
It does. It does. I'm so happy as the weather's turning and I feel like I have 2 little ones and it'll just be easier to get in the car and take them somewhere. I don't care where. We just need a change of scenery.
I'm with you.
So what are some tips for planning a great getaway this year?
Well, yes, whether you're kind of doing last minute or you want to plan ahead, I think that with more U.S. Travelers planning to take a domestic trip within the next few months, that staying close to home is going to prove to be more popular than ever. And from Booking.com, they recently did this survey and revealed that the top U.S. trip choices are a beach trip to the coast, an exciting city break, and a relaxing escape to the countryside. So no matter what type of trip that you want to take, why not make it extra special and literally add on a road trip there and incorporate that as part of it? Because, America has no shortage of beautiful scenic routes. And now is a great time to take advantage of literally going and exploring these gems that are right outside of our doorstep and become a part of that great road trip renaissance. So whether you want an SUV for more space and comfort, or perhaps you like something with a little more zip, a little more horsepower, you can check out the Booking.com platform, which helps millions of travelers with a full range of rental cars. And you can easily pick these up at any one of their 13,000 locations throughout the US. And they have pickup points at airports and, of course, also in downtown locations as well.
Yes, terrific. I love it. I've used their website before and they are a one-stop shop. So how can we utilize the latest smart technology for safe travel when we're on the roads? Because that's a big factor for our families.
It really is. And I think safety is very much top of mind. So with Alexa along for the ride, it's easier than ever to really stay connected and to navigate and to be entertained on the go. And this is how it works. So you will pair your phone with a compatible auto accessory to use auto mode in the Alexa app. And so once you do that, it literally transforms your phone into a driver-friendly device that enables you to get directions, to play music, check on the weather, and build playlists and more. This is all, of course, controlled by just your voice so that you can keep your hands on the wheel and your eyes on the road. So really, to make the most of your road trip experience, it's great to take advantage of this amazing voice assistant in your car. So you can do things like pay for gas and play trivia games with your kids, find restaurants and hotels along your journey. And also, if you absolutely must, check on that check on traffic. Not my favorite thing. I don't like those days when the roads were filled, and traffic, I suppose, is a part of our life. Of course, the app does much, much more, but that's just a sample and an example.
Terrific. And so are there any new trends available that you would recommend for that road trip?
Yeah, I love this next also fun tech trend. And these are called Echo Frames. They are smart audio glasses that are designed to save you time so that you can literally focus on what matters most. And it features open ear audio, and with Alexa as your voice AI, you can stay connected and yet be hands-free literally anywhere you go. So it's easy to ask to listen to phone notifications and podcasts. Also easy to ask to listen to music and audiobooks, maybe place a call, add to your to-do list, and set reminders. And you can even control your smart home. So obviously there's a ton of things that you can do and even more. The design, I wanted to just give it a little big shout out because it's really lightweight. It's flexible. It's a style that's really going to be timeless and extremely comfortable. So you can wear them literally all day long.
Wow. It's really...
Yeah. It's totally amazing. It's totally amazing.
Okay. So are there any other essential items that we should think about to bring on our road trip?
One thing I love about a road trip is the style that you can drive to get there. So from the 2021 Honda Ridgeline that has a new rugged design that matches its true truck capability, and it has standard all-wheel drive. It has the heaviest standard payload and the largest standard bed in its class.
I love that. I love Honda. I have a CRV, but I love the idea of even renting a car for your road trip so that you're not putting miles on your own possibility or testing out that new car that you're thinking about buying before taking your road trip, because why not travel in complete comfort? Thank you so much, Amy Goodman. And thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll talk to you next time.